Hey, this is Rocking Eric. I want to talk about why autistic people can't work. They can't hold a job or they don't want a job. I'm going to talk about my experience and what I'm doing without working for a boss or working a job. So basically, I've been rocking back and forth since I was 2 years old. I started on a rocking horse, and my parents didn't say anything about it. And then when I switched to rocking on my bed or the couch or the floor, they still didn't say anything about it. And I don't even remember my friends, making fun of me or anything like that. Maybe I stopped rocking when they came over. I don't remember. But I've never had anyone put down my rocking, thank God. Um, so when I was 16 and had to get a job, I thought I had to get a job. It was bussing tables. I lasted 3 days. I was like, this isn't for me. I'm going to quit. Then I got a dishwashing job. And for some reason, that was fun because it was repetitive. And so is rocking back and forth. And so I washed dishes. And it was kind of fun to watch the waitresses fighting the cooks and all the drama that goes in restaurant work. And they're doing drugs in the bathroom and screwing each other and going out and partying after work, and I'm stuck in the dish pit with another guy washing dishes and floor mats until 2 a.m. So that was my upbringing in work. And I didn't really have any concept of being fired or anything. I thought I could just call in sick whenever I wanted. And I did that a few times. And finally, they fired me. And I was shocked. I was just absolutely shocked that they fired me. And I started blaming them and blaming to my parents that, the restaurant, they didn't need me. I didn't need them. And few other jobs were like that. I quit another dishwashing job and I said, you know what, I can do better. And the owner was just like, oh, well, we can do better too. And that was kind of funny that, I'm 16 or 17 and telling these adults that I don't want to, I can do better. So I really didn't have a concept of reality, at least for jobs. And I got better, when I realized that they paid me and I needed to show up to get paid. I was all about it. In fact, sometimes in my life I worked two jobs, but it was always in the kitchen. I never wanted to be a waiter, even though I knew that the waiters made a ton more money than the cooks. So literally I'm making like $6 to $8 an hour and flipping omelets or flipping burgers. I'm in my 20s. Um, I'm dating an older woman. I think that I'm a poet. I want to be the next great American writer, like the Beat Generation writers that she turned me on to, like Jack Kerouac and Allen Ginsberg and all those poets from Haight-Ashbury. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Ken Kesey, and all these different books. I loved it. And I loved hitchhiking up and down the West Coast with a friend and journaling about it. Even hopped trains one time. But, I never made more than 18,000 a year. And I tried construction. The most I made in construction was a concrete job. Made I think $12 or $13 an hour. And this is like 20 years ago. So I thought that was good money. At this time, I lived in a converted school bus on my parents' property, so my rent was only $150 a month. And that's why I had kind of an attitude and thought I was better than most of my jobs. In fact, my concrete boss made fun of me. I was late one day, and he said, it must be nice to be financially independent or something like that, because I just didn't care. I was a hard worker, but I had an attitude like I was always like I had a bigger vision, a bigger dream. And yeah, for someone who's autistic, I'm high functioning autistic, and In fact, I think the only thing autistic about me is I'm a little shy in groups of people, and I rock back and forth. Other than that, I'm smart enough to fit in with people, but I am very hypersensitive. Like I said, I'm high functioning, so I understand social cues, but I just don't want to deal with people. And then I got into drugs and alcohol. And so I never did anything. I never worked my way up to being a chef. I was always just a line cook. I worked in grease spoons, flipping burgers, and that was my life. And there were times when I would blow up on waitresses. For some reason, they thought I was a good listener, and they abused my ears. And there was a couple times I would just lose it. I would listen to them for a month, and then one day I couldn't handle any more of their gossip and their drama. And, working in a small restaurant where it was just me and a waitress all night, and she just loved talking. I just couldn't handle it, and I scared her. I yelled at her, and I scared her, and she didn't show up to work the next day. She called in sick, just to like stay away from me. And so, but I've always been a daydreamer, rocking back and forth by myself I calculated that I've rocked back and forth 60,000 hours of my life. I'm 53 now. Um, I've had a lot of time to daydream and to fantasize and I guess it's law of attraction. I've focused on things so much that they come true, whether it's a bad scenario, a bad reality. Like when I was drinking a lot, my reality was horrible because that was the reflection of the sum of my thoughts. So when my thoughts were really bad and I was drinking alcohol and I hated people, my life suffered. I had a horrible girlfriend, or just, it was just a lot of drama, a lot of fighting. Um, I let my health go. I stopped showering, and I barely held a job. I worked like 2 days a week. Ironically, it was a caregiving job. And so he had disability, but fortunately he had his own house funded by the state, and I could go there and just watch TV and drink Coca-Colas with him. He loved it when I would bring a Coke, and I would drink a Coke, and we would watch movies. And he only had like 5 movies, and so I watched Castaway like 100 times, and Forrest Gump 100 times, and one other movie. And that was my job for like a year and a half. Um, but then it was to the point where I got sober, and all of a sudden I had the big dreams again to do something with my life. But I knew that I wouldn't make enough money in restaurants. I knew that that was a dead end job. That was a dead end life, especially if I wanted to move out of the small town where my rent was only 150 a month. Like if I wanted to move to Seattle, there's no way I could afford it, even with a roommate. I was still only making $11 an hour, even in 2016, 2014. And it got to the point I had a heart attack at work, um, because this is when I was still drinking. The stress, I was dehydrated. It could have been genetic, but I literally had a heart attack at my greasy spoon job. My friend was teaching me how to flip an omelet, and I had chest pain. I went outside. I was shaking, trembling, turned pale white, and got airlifted to Seattle Harborview Hospital. They put a stent in my widowmaker artery, and I'm still here today. And that was 20 years ago, 21 years ago. So I stopped drinking, and I had all these dreams and ambitions again. And I've always loved money ever since I was a little boy. It was just, I always think about money. And so since I rock back and forth all the time, and I'm always constantly thinking about how to improve my life, now I'm focusing on self-development. I'm reading books like Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. and self-development books, self-help books, watching Tony Robbins on YouTube. And then I started watching these network marketing trainers and like Eric Worre and Ray Higdon, and they were talking about the money that you can make online in network marketing. And I was like, well, that's going to be extremely hard, because from what I heard, network marketing, you have to be an extrovert and you have to talk to everyone and you have to pitch your product and you have to push it on people and you have to know sales. And I was like, that's not me. I can't do that. There's no way I'm going to push stuff on people. And so, and I tried cold calling for like a couple days, like literally just calling phone numbers out of the yellow pages, and I was getting hung up on all the time, and I was like, this isn't going to work. And then I discovered not law of attraction, attraction marketing, and I was like, what the heck is attraction marketing? And so I learned that if you just create enough content online, like videos like this or blog articles. I had a blog. I started writing articles about network marketing, started doing videos about network marketing, and all of a sudden people were finding me first. And I didn't have to bug people on Facebook or anything. They found me on YouTube, not this channel, it was another channel. And then so I started promoting CBD oil, because I learned that it can help a lot of people calm their nerves. It had a lot of different healing benefits. And so 2018, I was doing videos about CBD oil and blog articles about CBD oil. And 2018, I made $80,000 all online, working like 1 or 2 hours a day. I just did videos. I would write a 700-word article on my blog, and it took like 200 articles to get that blog going. It took like 100 to 200 videos on YouTube to get my brand going. But I was hooked, and I realized that you can create as much money as you want online. You can promote anything you want through affiliate marketing or network marketing. I mean, places like Walmart have an affiliate program that you sign up as an affiliate, and then you promote your link that Walmart gives you. And then when someone buys something through your link, you get a commission. That's the gist of affiliate marketing or network marketing. And so today, I still don't bug people, and I just talk about my life and I help others. And then under every video, I say, hey, if you want to work from home, or if you want extra income from home or online, check out what I'm doing now. And that's all I do. And I still don't bug people today. They find me through attraction marketing. Content marketing is another way to call it. And I designed a life that I love. Now, there are autistic people that are extremely on the spectrum, and they can't function, and they don't know how to work for themselves. I can't, what I do is probably not right for them, but if you are high functioning and you want to create a life that you love and you can work from home, like right now I'm in my man cave and I got the UFC playing in the background. I'm working out today. I got a rowing machine, and I do videos I got 3 other YouTube channels, and I just rock back and forth and talk to you guys. And then some of you click on my link because you want extra income. And there's no guarantee of income. I mean, it's still something that you have to work on, but I'm not out there calling people or hiding behind my Facebook profile going, hey, you want to join my deal? People come to me, and I've been doing this for full time for 10 years, and I only work about 1 hour a day because I'm efficient with my time. everything I do is income producing. That means that if you want to make money, you have to focus on what produces income, which is, for me, creating videos that have, the right titles. They call it SEO, search engine optimization. And you might have to do a lot of content before, a video takes off. It might never take off. But I got lucky. I was in the right place at the right time with a good, consistent work ethic. Would always do a video every day. And I don't blog anymore, but so I would do a video or two a day, and that would be it. And so I've gotten it boiled down to like an hour of work a day. And the rest of the time, I'm rocking, I'm daydreaming, I'm fantasizing. I also I help others get sober. I help others find Jesus. I'm not a Bible thumper. I'm not talking about you got to go to church and all this stuff. It's just a relationship with our Father, Jesus Christ. And He has renewed my spirit, and He's kept me sober. And I just got married recently. He gave me confidence at the wedding because I have social anxiety. And so if you guys feel angry, lost, scared, confused, just go to a private place in your room and just say, Jesus, I want you back in my life. I understand that you died on the cross for all my sins, rose again 3 days later to be my Lord and Savior. I want you back in my life. And that's it. That's all you have to do. When I did that, the Holy Spirit came into my life, rocked my world. I cried my eyes out for about 3 hours, and the Holy Spirit was in me, and I stopped addictions one after another, stopped smoking, stopped drinking, stopped masturbating, got married, and make 6 figures a year online. So there's really no excuse, unless you're really disabled, that you can't make a lot of money online. But it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It takes consistent effort. You got to learn some basics, like how to share a link, how to copy and paste a link, how to do videos or reels or TikToks or whatever platform you choose. Stick with one or two, and you show up every day and you share a little bit about yourself, and you have to do a call to action at the end of the video, like, check out our #1 way to make money online. And then you check out the link in my video description. If you want to work from home, make extra income, there's no guarantees, but that's all you do. And my life is pretty cool right now. And it's just, I'm used to working for myself. And working from home doesn't mean you can just crash out on the couch all day and play video games and not work at all. You gotta still kind of like have a routine. But I'm all about routine because I like regimented activities. My dad, I think, had autism because growing up, we had dinner exactly at 6 p.m. every night. We had breakfast at 7 in the morning every morning. Very regimented. My dad was very strict. But he was a workaholic and a perfectionist. And so I think it rubbed off on me. And after I got sober, all of that stuff came into my life, and I got regimented and relied on a routine. And I have dinner around the same time every day. But yeah, I can't tolerate coworkers anymore. And I don't want a boss telling me what to do. I haven't heard an alarm clock for like 10 years. I don't have to be stuck in traffic. I just stay home and do my thing. And I have my favorite documentaries that I watch and my favorite books. And I read the Bible 3 times a week, and want to get closer to Jesus. And I want to help people and shine my light for others and help them get sober or make extra money online. And that's my life. I love you guys. Leave a comment, like this video. God bless you. And we'll see you at the top.